Okay. The Durham report finally dropped on Monday afternoon. And it's everything you would expect from this government. It admits the FBI acted without any evidence. It concedes this is not the way it was supposed to be done. It describes a weaponized arm of the government that set out to persecute a private American citizen. It involved the director of the CIA, the FBI, the Obama administration, the Clinton campaign, and the mainstream media. It is 306 pages. And it was the culmination of everything we expected from the Russian hoax. It was a sham. It was a psyop. And despite multiple levels of government, Hillary Clinton and the media, look at what Durham suggested as the solution. Possible FBI reform. That's it? That's no conspiracy charges and nothing? Really? Well, why would we expect anything different from Durham? A, he's part of the system. If I give him the benefit of the doubt, what is he going to do about it? He says we have to change the hearts and minds of those who are in service and put them back in service to protect and defend the Constitution because they're not doing it now. It's the same road that we're on that I talked about earlier. There are entities in this country that are too big to fail. There are people who are just too big to jail. And if we want results, we have to lead the way. So let me ask you a question. Is Joe Biden's family better than your family? Would your son or daughter go to jail from criminal activity? Or would they not, just because of who they are? If they wouldn't go to jail for criminal activity just for the sole act of being born to the right people or right family, we have a real problem, now don't we? If you ask Vladimir Putin, he would say, yeah, no, my children are better and above the law. Ask Xi Jinping, Nicolas Maduro. They'd say exactly the same thing. I point this out because it goes to the core of institutional rot in every authoritarian country that has ever existed. When law and order means nothing, when you have two classes of people, when a political class rises above the people they claim to represent, and when the federal government weaponizes against their foes for persecution, when they shield those they deem protected, you've lost your country, and you become China, Russia, Cuba, Venezuela, name them. This is why we must hold Hunter Biden accountable and start with him. He is not above the law, and the families of politicians are not better than ours. I'm going to show you how to hold Hunter accountable and give you the tools to do it. But you've got to start right now. All of this information is available, again, in our Biden crime family dossier. You can access it by going to thereckoningguide.com. If you pull that up, you will see the Biden family alleged crimes that are primarily at the Department of Justice level. They are all there, and they are fully sourced. Now, I'm not going to focus on those. We saw how different the government treated Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump over basically the same crime. We've just witnessed how weak the response is from the Durham report. Do we really think the DOJ is going to do anything about any of these Biden family allegations? I'm not holding my breath. But these federal level crimes, again, are part of the government and media's misdirection. They would love us to zoom in and just look at that picture. Those are the cases they control. They can drag them and sweep it all under the rug. But what happens if you zoom out? The Marco Polo project on Hunter Biden's laptop notes over 170 crimes. 170 crimes. Clearly documented. We know the place and the date and everything. And they're spread out all over the country in states that perhaps you're living in right now. So let me go over some of these crimes. This is the list and the states where some of these crimes happen. It is staggering. I haven't heard of nearly any of these. If the president's son is implicated in 170 crimes, why hasn't justice been done? I mean, it seems kind of relevant to the public, doesn't it? What the heck's going on here? Really? 170? I'm going to go through some of these, but you should follow along in our dossier. So let's go over the crimes state by state. I'm going to start in Arizona. By the way, this is a crack pipe. On October 27th, 2016, Hunter Biden, under the influence of crack, crashed his car on the way to rehab, then dropped off his second car at the rental facility near the airport. He accidentally left several items in the vehicle, including personal IDs, a crack pipe, and a baggie with cocaine. Now get this. Before the lab test even came in, proving that it was cocaine, both the city and county attorney said, we're not going to prosecute. Why? Would your family member ever get the same courtesy? Would you want the same courtesy? Hunter would later admit that, well, I had to write it in my book. It's chapter 8, my book, Beautiful Things. So we have an official record, we have proof, and a confession. What we don't have is justice. Ha! So what's up, Arizona? Is there anybody in Arizona that might be willing to say, I'd like to take that crime on? If you live in Connecticut, it's going to get very busy in Connecticut. So many crimes here. I'm starting to wonder if there is actually a functioning justice system at all in Connecticut. I'll start with the drug crimes. February 2019, a female who is herself currently in jail for other crimes arranged a meeting with Hunter to bring him crack cocaine. Well, that's fantastic. Who doesn't like a little crack cocaine? Later in February 2019, texts show that Hunter was conversing with his drug dealer, showing he was consuming drugs and trafficking them as well. Hunter was pissed off that he was sold some drugs that were low quality. Who hasn't been there? Hunter's laptop clearly shows money transfers of over $1,400 and $1,500. March 2019, Hunter texts show that he ordered $400 worth of crack. I mean, at least the guy is good at keeping records. On that same day, Hunter's texts show him offering drugs to a female, then setting up sex and a drug romp with another woman. Have you heard of any of these? I mean, have you heard about the Connecticut sex crimes? Because sex crimes, wow. February 2019. Hunter solicits a woman for sex. Later the same night, after the woman leaves his room, Hunter solicits 2 more prostitutes through an online escort service. The energy he has is actually quite impressive. The very next day, Hunter solicits a 3rd prostitute. This particular lady of the evening instructs Hunter how to weed out the police. Later that day, Hunter solicits another prostitute at a casino, and then another one an hour later. This guy is remarkable. Then another who agrees to meet him at the Best Western Hotel. I mean, how comes to mind. February 13th, soliciting. February 14th, Hunter takes a video of him having sex with a prostitute and smoking crack. Money transfers show he paid the woman $1,500. February 17th, soliciting. Uber records show Hunter paid for their rides to come and meet him. Also later on the 17th, soliciting again. Uber records and a link to a Visa debit card to pay the prostitutes are described on the laptop. February 26th, guess. Yeah, soliciting. This is just Connecticut. Is there anyone in Connecticut that would like to maybe prosecute for a crime? Moving on to Delaware. Delaware, we could be here all night. June 2018, Hallie Biden pressures Hunter to procure crack cocaine for her. Just like they're in business together, well, they're sleeping together and doing crack cocaine. What a beautiful family. This was all caught on recorded phone calls. 2018, October, Hunter does a drug deal that ends at a 7-Eleven convenience store. Later in October, Hunter texts Hallie Biden that he's currently, quote, smoking crack on 4th and Rodney. That's great. December 2018, video evidence of Hunter naked smoking crack at a public spa. Later in December, a text message admitting to an unfair drug deal. March 2019, Hunter buys drugs from a registered sex offender. October 12, 2018, Hunter buys a gun. Well, he shouldn't have, because, he had to lie a little bit on the application about his drug use, okay? October 23rd, 2018, Hallie throws Hunter's gun in the trash can at a grocery store. We need more gun laws. No arrests were made. And what's this? This list is not good for anything unless you had a few sex crimes in here. December 2018, photo evidence of a night with a prostitute and crack cocaine. January 2019, video evidence of prostitutes and crack cocaine. February, more video evidence of the same prostitute and the same drugs. Well, I mean new drugs, because he had already smoked the other. If you live in Delaware, you've got your work cut out for you, I know. Probably not going to happen in Delaware. But how about Florida? Wow, Florida is an interesting case here. Because Florida, you'd think there'd be somebody that was a prosecutor. They're like, you know what? I think we should prosecute for that. 2016, March. Photos show Joe Biden's son-in-law, medical doctor Howard Crean, smoking a joint, violation of medical license regulations. December 2018. By the way, you might think that that's a little thing. Do you think if you were a doctor and you did this and it was on tape and they found out that they wouldn't come after you? December 2018. Hunter Biden sends money to a Ukrainian escort and pimp. The transfer was flagged by J.P. Morgan as possible human trafficking. By the way, these flags that the banks do, this is when they think there's money laundering or a crime being committed. They only issued 170 of these that we know of. 170 times the banks sent out an alert saying, we think something's wrong here. 170 times. Let's go to Massachusetts. November 2018. Hunter attempts to buy more crack. December 2018. Hunter sets up a drug deal and exchanges $1,200 for, I'm sure, a Beanie Baby collection. January 2019. Another drug deal with a payment via PayPal. February 2019. Video evidence of Hunter smoking crack at the Marriott Hotel and sex crimes. December 2018, video evidence and text messages prove Hunter solicited 2 prostitutes and did drugs with them at his property owned by his psychiatrist. By the way, where's #MeToo? Also in December, Hunter solicits another prostitute. She requests $1,000 as payment through Venmo. January 2019, Hunter solicits another prostitute. You know, he could hide all of these if he would use Bitcoin, because I hear the president says that's where the real crime happens. Video evidence was found on her OnlyFans account. You now have February 2019. Hunter attempts to solicit a prostitute but doesn't get a response. Nevada. August 2018, Hunter conducts a drug deal and pays the dealer $250. Also, August 2018, Hunter solicits a prostitute. August 7th, Hunter solicits another prostitute. Tennessee, October 2016, according to his own admission, written about in his memoir, Hunter Biden purchases crack cocaine in Nashville and drives under the influence. In Texas, December 2018, Hunter solicited a Texas woman for sex and paid her flight to the East Coast. She requested $1,000 in payment. In Virginia, June 8, 2018, Hunter takes pictures of himself driving around in Arlington, Virginia, smoking crack. Now, I don't know about you, but where I come from, that's against the law. Now, these are the crimes that we know about and have clear-cut evidence, like open and shut case here. I don't know how many more there are, but let me ask you, out of all of these, nobody prosecutes this. There's not one prosecutor out anywhere in the country that saw that crime come through and went, yeah, I don't care who he is. It's weird. They see the Biden name and immediately stop pursuing the case. We actually left off the crimes in places like New York and California because the institutional rot is so bad in those states, there's no way anything will ever be done. Do you think Alvin Bragg would prosecute Hunter Biden in Manhattan? Would Gavin Newsom allow anything like that to be done in California? Some of these states are just lost. But we can push action on every single one of these crimes on the chalkboard. Blaze TV has already begun the legwork, contacting every single one of the prosecutors and attorney generals with the powers to prosecute these crimes. But here's where we need your help. They're not going to do it because we call. They're only going to do it when they are shamed into it. There are two things you can do tonight to bring about the reckoning the Bidens deserve. First, we wouldn't have been able to do any of this without your support of subscribers. Thank you. The fight is going to get tougher. We need to be able to be in touch with you, have your email address, know how to contact you. We would like to ask you to consider joining us by becoming a Blaze TV subscriber. Give us the resources we need to continue this fight. You can go to blazetv.com/reckoning and join today. Use the promo code RECKONING at checkout and you'll save $30 off your subscription. Now, second, I think people don't care about the crimes that are happening in Washington anymore because they think nothing's going to happen anyway. So who cares? And you tune out. That is exactly how we lose our country. They have convinced you that there's nothing you can do. They have convinced you that you need to sit down and shut up. So I'd like you to do the opposite. I'd like you to flood the phone lines and email inboxes of every single prosecutor or attorney general that has the power to prosecute these crimes. The only way these officials will take action if the pressure in their own local community becomes so great they can no longer ignore us. You can find the information to contact these officials by receiving our Biden crime family dossier at thereckoningguide.com. Call them beginning tonight, tomorrow. Flood the email box. Tell all your friends. Facebook post. All of it. Then, after you've done that, do it again. Send them another email and another after that. And keep going until you are heard. If they give you an unsatisfactory answer, keep at it. The left never gives up. Never. And we're like, it's the greatest country ever, freedom. It's been great. Our children will be doomed to slavery and debt for the rest of all generations of time. Well, that didn't work when we tried the election. Why would we give up? Now, let me give you what you're going to see, okay? I have examples of what we did get back. See all those crimes in Connecticut? Yeah, it's not going to happen in Connecticut. Well, I don't want to say that, because maybe. But here's a response we got back from the Connecticut Office of the Attorney General. And I quote, "In Connecticut, the Office of the Attorney General does not have criminal jurisdiction. You may wish to direct your inquiry to criminal authorities." Oh, okay, all right. All those crimes committed in their state, and they don't have the jurisdiction. Maybe they should call one of the local prosecutors. But you know what? You can call the local prosecutors. Yeah, you can call and demand that action be taken. Are you a state of laws or not? Did the lack of jurisdiction stop Alvin Bragg? If the alleged criminal's name was Don Jr. rather than Hunter Biden, would that be the response? In Virginia, as I showed you earlier, there is photographic evidence of Hunter Biden driving his car under the influence of crack cocaine. Pictures you might think might make for a pretty slam dunk case there in Virginia. Here's the response we got from the Attorney General's office in Virginia. Thank you for reaching out. Unfortunately, this doesn't work for the Attorney General's schedule, so we'll have to decline. Have they changed the law? I know Virginia is changing the law to follow a lot of California laws lately. It's still legal to smoke crack and drive, right? I'm just checking. I don't know if there's mothers against crack driving. I don't. Maybe we need them. It is still illegal to break the law, I think. I don't know. I'm just asking a question. The job of the justice system in these states is to prosecute crime, right? If the answer is yes, then why is no one willing to do their jobs here? Let me just go to the base level. I mean, there's nobody that wants to be an absolute home run hero for taking this up. Why do you think Alvin Bragg did it? Because he wants to be, I don't know, some bigwig in, I don't know, Soros's hot tub party. Ooh, excuse me. He's doing it so he can become the guy. Is there not one prosecutor who sees injustice happening in their state with the power to do something that just doesn't, yeah, sure, the Constitution, blah, 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 but I could be famous. Some things are too big to fail, I guess. Some people are just too big to jail. Is that the country you want to live in? Because now is the time you make that decision. Is this road the one you think we should be traveling? It's the same road traveled by countries like Russia, China, Venezuela. Justice must be blind. Every day I get up and I say my prayers and I ask, and my staff before our producers meeting, we do the same thing. Michaela prayed today for you and for us to know, what do we need to say? What should we say? Please steer us away from the things that are not important and to the things. We need his help. We need your help. But you need his help and our help. We're in this together. If you want a country that listens to laws and is a nation of laws and not men, so my child gets the same treatment as his child does, then we need to re-gouge the eyes of Lady Liberty. We need to hit her with a stick in the eye. With your participation, we can ensure that these emails are not ignored. If there's just one prosecutor that is forced to do their job, if these crimes occurred in the state in which you live, reach out to them. Do it now. Do it early. Do it often. Again, the website for all of the cases and the contact information is at thereckoningguide.com. You are not powerless, and it is time to turn the tables on the left and engage lawfare, not the game the law not to game the law like the left always does, but to ensure the law actually means something. How do we build on tonight? How do we take this to the next level? How do you take it to the next level? How can you build momentum with state attorney generals, district attorneys, and prosecutors? We've talked to a lot of people, and they all say the same thing. Yes, this could work if. The if is answered by you. Maybe some of the other questions can be answered by Mark Levin. He has a few strong opinions on this. We We go to Mark Levin now.